Have you ever felt like someone was slowly turning you into a version of yourself you didn't even recognize? Some people don't just want love or support, they want control. They pressure you to change, excuse their bad behavior, and give up your peace to meet their needs. Carl Jung warned that losing yourself to please others is one of the greatest dangers to the soul. In this video, we'll break down 5 subtle demands that quietly drain your identity, and why staying away from those who make them is essential. First, ask you to change who you are. They might have hinted that you'd be better or more loved if you were different. This is something to watch out for, as it can be one of the most damaging things anyone can ask of you. Carl Jung often spoke about the importance of authenticity, being true to who we really are, even when it's difficult. When someone asks you to change who you are at your core, it creates an internal struggle. It's like being torn between staying true to yourself and trying to meet their expectations. Over time, this can make you feel disconnected from the person you've always been, and that's where the real harm lies. It's not always about superficial things, like changing how you look or what hobbies you enjoy. It can also involve altering your values, beliefs, or how you show love. If you find yourself pretending to be someone, you're not just to feel accepted, you're slowly losing touch with your true self. The real risk is that if you keep changing for others, you might wake up one day and wonder who you really are. The real you gets lost in the version others want you to become. So, the people who truly care about you will embrace you for who you are, not for who they wish you could be. Don't let anyone pressure you into being anything less than your authentic self. Stay grounded in who you are and trust that the right people will love you exactly as you are. Second, expect you to justify the unjustifiable. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone asked you to make excuses for their bad behavior? Maybe they treated you poorly, but instead of taking responsibility, they wanted you to explain it away or justify their actions. This is one of the most subtle forms of manipulation, and it can be incredibly draining. When someone asks you to justify the unjustifiable, they're asking you to compromise your values, your sense of right and wrong, just to make them feel better. They might say things like, "It's not that bad," or "You're overreacting," when deep down you know something is wrong. It's a way of twisting the truth so that you feel responsible for their actions or start questioning your own perceptions. Carl Jung often talked about the importance of self-awareness, understanding and trusting your own sense of truth. When we let others distort reality, we not only lose our sense of self, but we start to question our own intuition and judgment. Over time, this can erode your confidence and make you more vulnerable to manipulation. The key here is to recognize that you don't owe anyone an explanation for their bad behavior. You don't need to justify actions that go against your values or hurt you. It's important to trust your feelings and set clear boundaries around what is acceptable. Third, demand your time and energy without limit. Maybe they always needed your time, attention, or emotional energy, leaving you drained, exhausted, and depleted. This is a sign of emotional overreach, where others expect you to be available to them at all times, often with little regard for your own needs. It's easy to fall into the trap of wanting to help, support, or be there for those we love. But when others begin to demand your presence without considering your well-being, it's not just unfair, it's unsustainable. Carl Jung emphasized that solitude and self-reflection are essential for our mental and emotional health. Without time for yourself, it's impossible to stay connected to your inner self, and you risk losing your peace. Being there for others is important, but you should never have to sacrifice your own energy and sense of calm to do so. If you feel like you're constantly on call, it's essential to recognize that your peace is just as valuable as anyone else's needs. You have the right to say no and to prioritize your own well-being without feeling guilty. It's not selfish to need time alone or to focus on your own goals and self-care. In fact, Taking care of yourself allows you to show up in a healthier, more present way for the people who truly matter to you. When someone demands your attention and energy without limits, protecting your peace isn't just a right, it's a necessity. Fourth, want you to carry burdens that aren't yours. Have you ever felt like you were carrying someone else's emotional baggage or even their financial weight? Maybe a friend or family member constantly asks for help, even when it's not truly needed, or makes you feel responsible for their problems. This is another way people can overstep, placing burdens on you that you shouldn't have to bear. It can be hard to say no, especially when someone we care about is struggling. But there's a difference between offering support and being made to feel that their problems are your responsibility. When someone expects you to carry their emotional, financial, or mental burdens, it can quickly drain your own energy and create resentment. Carl Jung spoke about personal responsibility, how we each must own our own emotions and actions. When we take on others' burdens, we take on their emotional weight, which can affect our own mental health and well-being. Over time, this dynamic leads to an unhealthy imbalance in relationships, where one person is constantly giving, while the other continues to take, without ever truly learning to stand on their own. Lending a helping hand is one thing, but being expected to sacrifice your own well-being for someone else's choices is another. It's important to recognize when you are not responsible for solving other people's problems or taking on their guilt, pain, or obligations. Finally, pull you into drama that isn't your responsibility. Some people will try to make you the mediator, expecting you to take sides or resolve issues that aren't yours to fix. This can be incredibly draining and lead to unnecessary stress. Carl Jung talked about the importance of boundaries, the ability to distinguish where your responsibilities end and where someone else's begin. When you're constantly pulled into other people's conflicts, it blurs these lines, leaving you emotionally exhausted and caught in the middle. Over time, this can undermine your own sense of peace and clarity, as you focus more on resolving others' issues than on nurturing your own well-being. It's natural to want to help, especially when people we care about are going through difficult times. However, constantly being dragged into other people's problems prevents you from focusing on your own life and can lead to feelings of helplessness and frustration. Jung believed that part of mental and emotional health is learning when to step back and say, "This isn't my problem to fix." By taking a step back and not getting involved in other people's drama, you're protecting your peace and ensuring that your energy is spent on things that truly matter to you. It's okay to listen and offer support when needed, but you should never feel obligated to become entangled in someone else's issues. Final thoughts. It's easy to get caught up in the demands of others, but protecting your peace, authenticity, and energy is essential for your well-being. Trust your instincts and recognize when someone is asking too much from you. Remember, your true self is enough, and you deserve relationships that honor your boundaries. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and share with others who may need to hear this message. Stay true to you,